So, I just turned 20 years old on February 3rd, and I know that's not that old, but I feel old. So old that I may even download Facebook. I spent most of my teenage years just completely directionless, and the worst years of my life were during high school and even a little after high school as well. I'm actually class of 2022, so most of my high school years were actually during Schmovid, and many other things affected my life drastically during this time too. There were losses in the family, separations. I had a lot of depression, anxiety, and just all types of bad things were happening during this time. And I made a lot of mistakes during this time, but I don't really regret them because those mistakes and bad things led me to where I am today. But there are some things that I wish I could have learned sooner. But now I'm finishing my teens, and now I'm 20. I'm a way better person than I was before. I'm much healthier mentally and physically, and I have my finances under control. I'm working full time on my business, and I'm close to having 100K subscribers on YouTube. By the time this is out, I think I should be past 100K. This is just a dream come true, honestly. Being a creator has been my dream career since before I was even a teenager, actually since I was in middle school. Above all else, I wake up every day with a feeling of purpose and drive, and I go to sleep feeling fulfilled, and that's not something that I could have said before. That's something that I lacked for a very long time. So today I'm going to list out the 20 lessons that I've learned from my 20 years of life that I really think would benefit you if you are a teenager still in high school or getting out of high school, or maybe even a few years older than me. I really think that you would benefit from learning these lessons. So number one, and this is probably one of the most important, is you deserve the consequences of your actions. And I remind myself of this mindset strategy literally every single day, and it provides a necessary reality check. I actually have a post-it note right here that says it too. I've had it for months. It's the exact same one. It's losing its stick though. The idea is that you need to hold yourself accountable for everything that you do and everything that happens to you, even if it's out of your control. The moment you start to blame someone or something else for your problems, you relinquish control. The control is gone. You don't have it anymore, just because you blamed something else when there's no one else to blame but yourself. Even when things happen to you, act as if you caused them, because if you do, you'll stay present, and it's not gonna upset you as much, because you can only be mad at yourself for so long, right? If anything, you'll just start to feel embarrassed. Then you can approach it with a clear head and fix the situation instead of playing the victim. Playing the victim is not going to get you anywhere. So hold yourself accountable for everything that you do, and even when things are out of your control. There's no one else to blame but you. So don't give your power over to the situation or to something that's outside of you. Lesson number 2, delay gratification. We all must suffer one of two pains: the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. This quote perfectly encapsulates the lesson. The more you choose the pain of discipline, the more you experience delayed gratification. Conversely, the pain of regret stems from indulging in instant gratification. While instant gratification can feel great at the moment, it often leads to regret later on. And this goes from like all the way from like phone addiction to like porn to everything, like wasting time, your health. This is one important one too, is like your health. Like, don't take care of your health now, especially like your mind and your body. Take care of it now, because youth doesn't equate to invincibility. You're not invincible just because you're young. Bad things can happen to you. You can get out of shape. And, like, ask anyone older than you. They're going to tell you that they wish that they established good fitness and nutrition habits like earlier in life. Everyone who's older than you will tell you that. You don't want to be the person that's trying to go to the gym when you're like age 35, 40, trying to get into the habit of fitness. Then you're going to regret it. So think about your future self. Really, just bottom line of the whole thing, not even just health, but just everything in general. Stop being an asshole to your future self. Number 3, stop procrastinating. Be great now. You can be great today, but instead you choose tomorrow. There are so many things that I wish I would have started earlier, especially my YouTube channel. I've wanted to be a YouTuber since I was 11, and I even tried for a while back in like 2017, but for some reason I just stopped. Throughout high school, I was motivated to start a YouTube channel, and I tried to get my friends in on it as well to start a channel with me. On all different types of topics. I never actually posted the videos. I kept telling myself that once I became more interesting, or I got a good camera, or I gained experience, then I'd start. But in reality, that was just me giving in to resistance. On the first video on my channel, if you scroll all the way to the bottom, I talked about how if I didn't start then me 20 years later would look back and regret it. So understand that, especially now, if you're young, you are in that spot 20 years ago. You know, I think the quote is like, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. We are at that time 20 years ago. Plant the tree now. Just whatever you're trying to do, just do it. You will be thankful that you did. I wish that I started earlier, but I'm glad that I started when I did. So stop procrastinating. Number 4, save and spend your money for important things. I began working at the age of 14. I was babysitting my neighbor's son. He was giving me about $100 a week to do that, or like $80, $100 a week or something like that. I was getting scammed out of my mind. But a couple years later, I got a job working at Walmart when I was 16. Then after graduating, I got a full-time job, and I worked there for a year and a half. So I held that full-time job for over a year. So that means that I've always been working for the past 6 years of my life. I feel like I've accomplished little during that time. That's 6 years, and I feel like I have nothing to show for it. Whenever I had some money to spare, I'd spend it on things that I wanted but can never get from, say, my parents. Essentially, I just bought everything I ever wanted from my part-time job. What I mean is, like, I would buy, like, very big into, like, action sports, so I'd buy, like, skateboard or, like, a scooter or BMX bike. Multiple different scooters, actually. Like, a hoverboard. Remember when hoverboards are crazy? I never got one of those, so I ended up buying one of those. Didn't use it. I just spent my money on things that I didn't get growing up, that I thought I was missing out on, and that's what I used all my money on. The only purchase I could say was a good investment was my car, and I got that when I was 17. So as I reflect on these like past spending habits, I can't help but wonder how my life would be different if I used that money and the earnings that I got from my jobs more purposefully. If you're still in high school, I recommend that you find a way to start making money now. And you don't have to save everything. Just consider investing in yourself, because let's be honest, like, how much money can you really save at that age, and what can you really use it for? People are going to say, oh, use it for college, but it's really not going to get you that far, if I'm being honest with you. Even if you have like 5-10K, it's a decent amount of money. Maybe you'll be able to buy a car or something like that, or maybe make some kind of investment if you want to start a YouTube channel. Maybe that would be good, right? But in terms of just like saving it just to save it, it's not really going to get you very far. I would say just invest in yourself. So buy books, pursue self-education with like courses and things like that, and other things that can kind of just give you an edge. Just whatever you do, just don't spend your money on V-Bucks like I did. V-Bucks and scooters. Number 5 is to always have a project to work on outside of school. So I've noticed a pattern among people who are struggling with bad habits. They tend to indulge in these habits after work or school, almost as if it's like a reward for a long day of work or something. And reflecting on my school days, I realized that the most fulfilling times were when I was involved in sports. And I succumbed to bad habits way more frequently during the off season or during the summer or on weekends when I wasn't, playing sports. I think that participating in sports improved my sleep, but it also gave me something to look forward to after school, or just look forward to when I was at school. And then during periods when I wasn't engaged in sports and I wasn't doing any kind of extra activity outside of school, I felt more depressed, and I always disliked schoolwork too. Really, just having another activity to do made it a lot more enjoyable. I suspect I would have felt the exact same way if I had started my YouTube channel back in high school, kind of like what Ruff is doing. Like, he's only a high school student and he's not even monetized on YouTube, but he has something to work towards outside of school. And I think that is a great way to not only just self-improve, but also just to have something to do to keep you busy, keep you from doing the bad habits. So in summary, school equals depression. Instant gratification equals depression. Fulfilling project/hobby equals happiness. School plus project equals less depression plus more happiness. So I recommend finding a passion project outside of school or work. If sports aren't your thing, find something else meaningful to engage in. Start a YouTube channel or something. And I'm going to talk about this a little bit more in the future about why you should start a YouTube channel or start posting content online. So that'll be coming very soon. Number 6 is to learn a high income skill. What exactly are high income skills? Well, I think everyone kind of has their own list of what they think a high income skill is. But I think that currently right now, the number one best skills that you could, but the best skills that you could learn right now is definitely writing, speaking, marketing, video recording and editing, photo shooting and editing, web design, and coding. Those are probably the most valuable skills that you can learn right now. And most of them are actually just like skills that you can use online, because like this whole like new economy is booming right now. You know, if I had dedicated time to learning these things in school, I could have just skipped the whole process of getting a job. In fact, I learned coding in school, and I wish that I had known about all of this stuff that's going on the internet space right now, because I would have used that to my advantage back then. But it doesn't matter now. I'm a YouTuber. Even if you're not interested in this whole online space, these skills transfer over into more areas than you think. Even if you want to work just like a job, like a lot of these skills transfer over very well. Speaking is very important. Writing is very important for everything. Marketing is used in every single business. Video recording and editing, you can use that for your own stuff. You could use that for businesses. You could be a freelancer, whatever it may be, right? I have a video editor, right? It's just like, so you can work for creators. You can work for me as a video editor if you had the skills to do it, right? Photo editing, same thing, web design. So yeah, if you want to make any sort of creative income, especially, these skills are a must, and they will bring you lots of opportunities, especially if you use them to start posting content online. A lot of opportunities are going to come towards you. You're going to get like opportunities to make and sell digital products, so you can scale your business, or you can even like get sponsorships and things like that. And speaking of sponsors, this video is actually sponsored by FlexiSpot. Since switching from working full-time in a place where I'm moving around all day to working at home, I came across a problem very quickly. I sit way too much. So after hours of sitting, no matter how good the chair is, my back will hurt and my legs will end up feeling numb. So what I did was I reached out to FlexiSpot, and they were kind enough to send me over this standing desk. This is the FlexiSpot E8 dual motor electric standing desk, and it is a 72 by 30, so I have plenty of room to rest my arms on the table while I'm typing, which is very nice. And this desk is very stable at every height thanks to the dual motor setup. And this desktop is actually made of bamboo wood, making it environmentally friendly as well. If you do any kind of work that requires you to stay at your computer for an extended period of time like I do, I cannot recommend a standing desk enough. The great thing about the FlexiSpot standing desk is that the assembly was very easy. It actually only took me 20 minutes to put this whole thing together. And it actually has a very simple mechanism over here to raise the desk and lower the desk. But if you don't want to get a huge 72-inch desk like I do, or you don't like the curve, you can actually customize the desk to whatever color you want or whatever size that fits your needs, or just get like a straight one instead of this curved one. You can completely customize the desk as well. So if you're interested in getting your own standing desk, check out the first link in the description to find it on Amazon. So lesson number 7 is to cut people off who pull you down. This point kind of relates to another one that we'll talk about. The idea is that like if you realize that there are people in your life right now who are not beneficial, it can be challenging to decide to let them go. I understand that. This is especially true if you've known them for a long time or you see them daily, and you might feel obligated to maintain these connections. It's like that one person who has a snap streak, but they don't even use Snapchat, but they just keep the snap streak anyways. But you have to remember that the duration of the friendship does not determine its strength. The foundation of a strong relationship lies in honesty, trust, respect, and open communication between people, and it requires effort and compromises from both sides. For instance, one of my closest friends, who I've only known for months, by the way, our bond is really strong because it encompasses all these crucial elements. And if your friends don't have these qualities and your relationships aren't strong like this, they don't have those things that I listed off, you feel no obligation to reciprocate those things either, then just cut this person from your life. You're wasting your valuable time otherwise. Number 8, find an accountability partner. So my friend who I just talked about is basically my accountability partner. Even though I don't explicitly call him that, we work well together because we hold each other accountable. Aziz also has a YouTube channel by the name of Lookin' Fresh. Some of you may have heard of him. And he's also in online business. We have many shared goals as well, and it's just really beneficial to have someone who's striving towards the same things as you, in the same field as you. Even if you aren't working on the exact same thing, just having someone to lean on and ask for help about certain things and to consult you is just great. You can support each other's growth, you can share advice, and you can offer like constructive criticism to each other. And you also get that sense of friendly competition as well, or better put, camaraderie is what I'd call it. I want Aziz to succeed, but I also want to outperform him. Like I want to destroy him, literally. So Aziz, if you're watching this, watch out, bro. So knowing that Aziz is working hard, across the world, right, it motivates me to do the same. I don't want to fall behind, especially when someone else is relying on my efforts the exact same way. Ali Abdaal says in his book, Feel Good Productivity, teamwork is as much a psychological state as a way of dividing up tasks. So what he means is that you don't need to be working on the same thing as someone else. The feeling of working together on something can actually motivate you to take on challenges and to do better. You know that you're not alone. Number 9, you are the sum of 5 people you spend time with. I believe that this is particularly true during high school. You're essentially forced to be around the same degen losers every single day. Your only choice is to decide who you associate with. I'm really grateful that my programming prevented me from falling into certain friend groups. It kept me from placing myself in a position where I could be influenced by the wrong people. Over the years, I've observed many individuals in my classes join the popular group, and then they quickly adopt their goals and habits, and then usually it's just degenerate activities. And they also show pretty disrespectful attitudes towards authorities, others, just everybody. And I just never liked that. Even now, I'm very selective about who I allow into my life because I'm acutely aware of the impact that they have on my behavior and worldview. This is why I said to cut people off who don't serve you, because they will influence you. Consider the people that you spend the most time with now and ask yourself, does this person fit into my ideal future? Does this person uplift me and encourage me to be the best that I can be? Does this person possess qualities that would benefit me if passed on? If the answer to any of these questions is no, it's time to reconsider. So, number 10, you are the sum of the 5 creators that you watch. This issue is particularly prevalent among teenagers, alright? Which is why I included it. Content creators' influence on our lives only continues to grow, and social media increasingly dominates the internet, right? So, many of you have discovered me through my dopamine detox videos, and you may have followed the advice that I shared. And I may have significantly impacted some of your lives. Whether it's for better or for worse is subjective. I'd hope it's for better, but the more that you watch me and the other creators that you enjoy, the more likely you are to adopt our worldviews and possibly even our goals. In his book, The Art of Focus, Danko says, minds of low development will try to bring the world down to its level. Minds of high development will try to bring the world up. We are in the middle of a spiritual war of ideas. So stay mindful of who you allow into your subconscious mind, much as you would with your social circle. So lesson number 11, read more books. I regret that school initially made me hate reading. Investing in my own knowledge has become one of the most rewarding habits I've adopted in this past year. Many teenagers, including myself, avoided reading because we had to read uninteresting books just for grades. The lack of choice transformed in reading into a chore. Another reason people struggle to read is that it's hard to focus for more than 30 seconds on one thing anyways. TikTok brain. Years of mindless social media scrolling and playing video games made it really challenging to transition into reading actual books. However, with time, I managed to rebuild my concentration. Now I dedicate anywhere from 30 minutes to 1.5 hours a day to reading. So start reading. Number 12, stop worrying about others. Stop caring about what others are doing and what they think of you. You can't go through life constantly worrying about if others are scrutinizing you, worrying that they might be waiting for your downfall. Most people are too preoccupied with their own lives to care about you anyways. So let me give you an example. You've probably experienced this before. Remember when you were presenting a Google slideshow or a poster board project to the whole class? Do you remember that anxiety that you felt? Your heart was pounding out of your chest, but as you started to present, the anxiety faded. You realized that nobody was paying as much attention as you thought they were. And once you sat down, you stopped thinking about it immediately. And your classmates probably did too, or they just weren't paying attention anyways. Even if there are critics in your life, their negativity is likely rooted in jealousy or just dissatisfaction with their own lives. So you're probably better off feeling bad for them more than you are feeling bad for yourself if someone says something negative to you. The critic hates most that which he would have done himself if he had the guts. Stephen Pressfield. Number 13, carry yourself how you want to be addressed. This might seem contradictory to the previous lesson, but bear with me. I've said it before and I will say it again. Contrary to popular belief, looks do matter. If you want to be seen in a certain way and attract specific opportunities, you need to present yourself accordingly. This extends from your outer appearance and your clothing to your mannerisms and your language. As a young black kid especially, my parents always emphasized that if I wanted to be perceived with dignity and respect, I should carry myself in a way that reflects that. People make judgments, and you will be judged. And I don't like to play the race card, obviously. I don't really like to do that, but it is just a harsh reality, living in certain parts of the world, right? Again, I have to acknowledge that people will make judgments about me automatically, and I will be judged, right? When I was younger, people often expected me to behave a certain way just because of the color of my skin. And when I didn't meet their expectations, they would say, "You talk white," or "You're whitewashed," and things like that. You might be feeling bad hearing that, but this wasn't a negative outcome, because it made it clear to me that they weren't to be taken seriously as acquaintances anyways. Anyone who would say that to me, I would just not talk to them anyways. Even now, well, not right now, but the way that I dress and the way that I interact with others makes people perceive me as older than I actually am. At 18, people thought that I was in my mid-20s and mature for my age just because of the way that I spoke to them and the way that I dressed. Just a few weeks ago, someone in a coffee shop actually approached me and asked me if I wanted to model for their clothing brand. They liked my outfit and they liked how I presented myself. And I didn't even have to say a word, but this opportunity came straight to me. And things like that have happened to me a lot over time. Opportunities just come to you when you carry yourself a certain way. So I'll probably dive deeper into this topic another time because it's really important, but let's move on for now. Lesson number 14, become an adult in high school. This doesn't mean that you can't enjoy your youth. I encourage you to have fun and make the most of your time, right? Many people wait too long to get their lives in order. When they graduate high school, they aren't prepared to be adults. You don't have to have your whole life figured out by age 18. That's not what I'm saying. However, you can take certain steps that will give you an advantage without consuming much of your time. And they will also save you from future headaches. So once you're old enough, I would recommend that you get your ID. I think it's age 16 in most parts of the US. Get your driver's license. You can apply for a permit at 15 to 10 months in many parts of the US as well. Applying for a credit card the day you turn 18. I did this and my credit score is just under 750 right now, and I'm only 20. All I did was just get a credit card right after I turned 18. I got a credit card and then just started using 10% each month. That was it. Saving for a car. This will open a lot of opportunities for you, like work and just where you can go to school, where you can go, just everything. Save for a car. These may not seem very urgent, but I am grateful that I learned about and achieved these things in high school, and while others were just postponing them and they still don't have them now. Number 15, prioritize a consistent sleep-wake schedule. It's surprising how many people don't maintain a consistent sleep-wake schedule. Most people have some sort of routine during the week and go to bed within the same hour or two. However, for some reason, sleep just doesn't matter to some people on the weekends. Maintaining a consistent sleep-wake schedule is essential for your overall health and your productivity. It helps to regulate your body's internal clock, the circadian rhythm. And when you regulate this, it leads to improved sleep quality. When you go to bed and wake up at the same time each day, your body gets accustomed to this routine, and it makes it easier for you to fall asleep and wake up at the same time every day. Plus, better sleep quality means increased energy during the day. It also means improved mood and enhanced cognitive function. I can literally just go on for hours about all the benefits of sleep, of getting good sleep. It can help, it can help reduce anxiety, depression, just prevent these things actually. Insomnia and sleep apnea, sleep disorders can come from that. Just everything just gets better when you get a good night's sleep, especially for the guys in high school. You're still growing. You want to get as much sleep as you can, so that way you can grow more, because you grow while you sleep, right? If you don't believe me, just check out literally any one of the Huberman podcasts on sleep and you'll see what I'm talking about. Number 16, take advantage of the digital renaissance. We live in an era where you can use technology to carve your career path. You can be a creator or a one-person business or collaborate with creators. The Renaissance was a period in European history from the 14th and the 17th centuries, and it marked a new wave of artistic, scientific, and intellectual ideas. It served as a transition from the Middle Ages to the modern era. This is where you hear about a lot of the famous painters and the sculptors and things like that. This was during the Renaissance. A lot of people have noted that we are experiencing a very similar period right now. Only this time it's happening on the internet. The most sought after career path today is to become a YouTuber. And now is a better time than ever to pursue this goal or create content in the way that you want to. And I'll discuss more about this in a future newsletter about becoming a word crafter. Number 17, don't go to college just because others want you to. So while formal education has its benefits, people are starting to realize that it doesn't provide the secure future that they expected and were promised. Many, like me, have never enjoyed the formal education system. While I was in high school, it was presented as if college was the only path for me and I'd be a loser if I didn't attend college. This could not be farther from the truth. I'm not just saying this because I write online and do online business and YouTube and stuff. I actually got a job right after high school. Like within weeks of graduating high school, I got a job that within 2 years would be paying me the same, if not more, than most of my teachers. And I got that, again, right out of high school. But it's not just about the money. It's unreasonable to expect an 18-year-old who's never left the education system or worked a real job to know what they want to do with the rest of their lives. The stress and anxiety this expectation put on me when I was graduating was just too much to handle. I felt pressured by teachers, by peers, and even just random people I met telling me, you know, are you going to school? You're going to go to school? Which school are you going to? Just assuming that I'm going to college right after school because that's like the default path. So if you're in this situation right now and you're going to be graduating this year, make sure that you're going to college because you want to, not because society or your parents are telling you to. It's your life. If you constantly try to please others, you'll end up resenting your life and blaming others for your circumstances. And again, you have to take responsibility for your actions. You deserve the consequences of your actions. If you end up going to college, that's on you. Number 18, don't adopt others' goals. So kind of similar to the previous point about college, but this is broader, right? You should be aware of the goals that are imposed by society, creators like me, and friends, right? For example, many people will see the fancy cars and the lifestyle of the people like Tate, and they want that for themselves. Or perhaps you follow couples on social media and you envy their lifestyle. You might end up adopting others' goals without realizing if they actually align with your own aspirations. When you see or hear something and someone prescribes something to you, a lifestyle or like a piece of like something to buy, right? Critically evaluate whether it aligns with your ideal future, and also determine if it's just a case of shiny object syndrome. Bottom line, just stop being an NPC. Number 19, doing the bare minimum isn't enough. I had a 1.8 GPA in high school. It's not that I'm unintelligent or incapable of learning and applying things. In fact, as you can see, I do a lot of that now. But I always had trouble focusing in school, but more than anything, I just didn't do the work. I always tried to get by on the bare minimum. My logic was that I wasn't trying to get into college anyways, so my grades didn't matter to me. And while that was true, my mindset and my grades caused a lot of struggle. Teachers didn't respect me the same way as other students. I missed out on opportunities in school because of my bad grades. My parents would blame me all the time for my grades and make me feel bad about making them feel bad. You know, I had academic recovery more times than I can count. And if you don't know, academic recovery is basically just like a summer school during the school year. And I even repeated junior year, but luckily I found a loophole to get out of it. But I was a junior for 3 weeks out of my senior year. I was often ineligible to participate in sports because of my bad grades, and all of these issues just could have been prevented if I had just given a little bit more effort, just a little more effort. If I had tried just 20% harder, my life would have been 80% better and way less stressful. I realized that this mindset would cripple me when I started my own business, because when you do, you're your own boss. Your input alone determines the outcome. Nobody's holding your hand and scolding you for not trying hard enough. That's all on you. Build the discipline of putting in the extra effort now, because it will help you later in life. And we actually are going to talk about discipline in the next newsletter. And last one, number 20, is very simple, and it's just play fewer video games. So here's the thing about video games. They're really fun, but really useless. Growing up, I was more of an outdoors kid and I didn't play many games, but everything changed when I got a PS4 in 8th grade. I've spent countless hours on Fortnite, Call of Duty, a little bit of Apex Legends for a while too. Garbage game. But I played, sometimes, during the summer I would play like for 16 hours straight. And although it was fun, I might have had just as much fun, if not more fun, outside. The real problems began during the school years. I often chose to play video games over doing homework, and unsurprisingly, that didn't sit well with my parents. Thinking back to it, I have countless hours logged on my PS4, but nothing tangible to show for it. It hasn't advanced my life in any significant way. And I'm not completely against video games at all, actually. I have no problem with video games themselves. Many people pursue them as a career or just do them as like a downtime type thing. And I completely understand that. Eventually I do want to play video games again. I personally wish that I would have spent less time on them because I don't really want to pursue them as a career. So bottom line, just don't overdo it on the games. So those are the 20 things that I've learned in my teens that had the most impact on my life, and I wish that I had learned many of them way sooner. I did briefly touch on each one here. However, I plan to discuss many of these topics in greater detail in future videos. So stay tuned for that and sign up to the newsletter so that way you can, get those straight to your inbox, because this video actually came out in newsletter form a week ago, so you could have gotten this a while ago on my actual birthday. Check out 14 Days to Purpose. It's a free journaling course that will aid you on your self-improvement journey, and it includes actionable steps and questions that you never asked yourself. I'm also going to be launching my planner. I have a digital planner coming out that's it's about like it kind of ties in like self-improvement and really just like strategies about like habit formation and planning and things like that. That should be coming out by the time that this video drops. It should be out. If so, the first link, it'll be one of the links in the description, so check that out. And yeah, that's all for today. Hope that you enjoy the rest of your week, and that's it. See ya.